Hi guys, welcome back to Geeky Fibre Mama. I'm Sil and I am Geeky Fibre Mama. So for Vlogoween, I'm in my bedroom. So for Vlogoween, one of the ideas that I had was, and actually it was kind of my idea and kind of my friend's idea, Tally. She always likes it when I shout her out. Is to let you guys get to know me a little bit better, in the fact that things that I read, things that I watch, that kind of thing. She also said to say something about my education and that kind of thing. So we'll start with the education. I have a Bachelor of Science in Earth Sciences from the University of Newcastle in New South Wales, Australia. And I've also I dabbled a bit in criminology and that kind of thing. But I'm now doing a graduate diploma in forensic sciences through the University of Canberra, which is in the ACT, Australia. It's a state within a state. And I hope to do something in that field, or do YouTube, one of the two. That's my hopes. The thing I like about forensics is that it helps families to heal, it helps them get answers, and it helps them get closure. So that is what I feel about forensics and why I want to do it. Now, I'm filming in my room tonight because it's very late at night. I've had an extremely busy day, and this was not the video I planned to do for today. I actually planned to do my Bujo spread for October. I thought I got it out on the 4th of September last month. Maybe I'll get it out on the 3rd of October this month. No, it's coming out on the 4th of October. So at least I'm being consistent. So today I just thought I'd sit down, have a chat, tell you what things I've been reading recently, things I've been watching recently, that kind of thing. And I'm just looking down at, my my books, and I'll actually just pick them up for you. Okay, so I have a goal for 2020, the crappiest year ever. I have a goal for 2020, and that was to read 30 books. I'm nowhere near that, so I've got to pick up the pace in the next couple of months. But some of the ones that I have read so far this year that I really, really enjoyed. Some of them have a backstory, some of them don't. The most recent one I read was Death Punched by Jeremy Spencer. He is the drummer for the band Five Finger Death Punch, and one of my favourite bands in the whole wide world, and I'll talk about them later. But the story behind this book is I've been trying to read it for 3 years. So I finally got it finished. It is a very good read. It wasn't the book that caused me to be that long in reading it. It was just life got in the way. And I had other books that I had to read for school and stuff like that. So, but I finally got it finished, and it is a lovely read if you want to read into the depths of being on tour and stuff with bands, and especially like fairly famous rock bands, well, metal bands in this case. But yeah, another one I read was Becoming by Michelle Obama, her biography. I thought it would be interesting to read about a strong person, well, lady of colour, and also about the first black family in the White House. So here in Australia, we don't really have the politics. As far as I'm aware, I don't think we've ever had a black Prime Minister. But I just thought it would be very interesting, with me being like the age I am, and trying to learn from older women about life and stuff like that. Like, just continually learning. Very good read. It took me a while to read this one too, but it's quite thick. So, but quite interesting read. Another one I've read is a really old one. My grandma gave me this one, my Oma. It's from 1993, so it's not like hella old. Like, it's not as old as I am, but it's fairly old. It's called Australian Crime, and it's a compilation, I think, but it's edited by Malcolm Brown. And I just find, being in forensics, that reading about the history of crime in Australia, this also comes into, I have a podcast, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and it's about murder and that in the Australian way of thinking about murder and stuff. So, this was good for research as well as a good read. Another one I read, this is the wrong one, but I can't find the other one, is The Barefoot Investor. I did read this one too. This one's for families, but the actual Barefoot Investor book. Actually, is it here? There it is. There you go. Barefoot Investor. This guy's an Aussie, and he, it's great to watch, like, YouTube and that, like, The Budget Mum and stuff like that. That's great to watch, but this guy does it from an Australian perspective. So, what accounts work for us, what investments work for us, that kind of thing. Also, if my focusing is a bit off, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. If anyone's got any suggestions on focusing issues with the Sony Cybershot, please let me know. And last but not least, Dirk brought me this, and it's fantastic. It's the Ted Bundy, America's Most Evil Serial Killer. And it is by El Camino. I think that might be a pseudonym, maybe, considering an El Camino is an American car. But it is a very good book. I enjoyed this quite a lot, but I'm weird and love serial killers. So, like, my favourite serial killer is Jeffrey Dahmer. Can't tell you really why, it's just a very interesting story. So those are the books that I've been reading lately. And why I read them, that kind of thing. Now on to podcasts. Podcasts I've been listening to recently. My Favourite Murder with Karen and Georgia. I just love murder podcasts and stuff. So, My Favourite Murder, it's very interesting, but they're also very funny. It's not that they're making comedy out of tragedy. What they're doing is educating, but also they are telling us about their lives and stuff like that, and I find it very interesting and quite funny. Another one I listen to for funniness is The Tripod. I think it's very, very funny. I watch the Try Guys on YouTube all the time. And I listen to The Tripod, especially when I'm driving. If I'm driving long distances, I'll catch up on like months of Tripod. I don't listen to them every day or even every week, but I do enjoy the Tripod. And on that note, Come Sit With Us is the Try Wives, like their partners. Ariel, Becky, and Maggie, along with a producer, I can't remember her name. I've only listened to one or two of the episodes, but I find it quite enjoyable and quite funny. And as a female, listening to female perspectives on friendship and that kind of thing, and a female perspective on world events and stuff like that is quite interesting. And they're about my same age, and Ariel has kids like I do, so it's something I can relate to. Not everyone can, but I can. Of course, I can't talk about podcasts without my own podcast, which is I Heart Murder. Me and my husband, who is not into murder, but he is into history, and all sorts of, all that kind of thing. I present a murder case to him, and we discuss it between the two of us, which I find quite fun. And we both enjoy it very much, and are just trying to get a good schedule up for us that we can keep up with. Also on podcasts is the YouTube Power Hour, and that is people that do YouTube passing on advice and stuff like that to people like me who are trying to build their channels, that kind of thing, making content, and it's really good, and a lot of them are women, which is lovely for me to have someone again to relate to. Going on to music that I listen to. For study, I normally listen to instrumentals, soundtracks such as Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, that kind of thing. But for pleasure, I listen to Five Finger Death Punch, all sorts of metal. Five Finger Death Punch, I also listen to, I'm having a massive blank. Avenged Sevenfold would be especially one song, Little Piece of Heaven. Not for everyone. It is about necrophilia, but in a funny way. So, but again, not for everyone. I just think it's funny as, and a crack up, so that's why I listen to that. But I do enjoy a lot of different metal. Not screamo, death metal, I don't like the screamy metal, but I do like the metal that has a good message or a good feeling about it. That kind of thing. Like I do enjoy that. And I also have had a reboot for Muse recently. I do like Muse, especially Uprising, and so I've been listening to some Muse recently. I also like for housework and my workouts and stuff like that, I like listening to 90s rock. I am a 90s kid. I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. I had my formative years in the 90s, and a lot of my very interesting experiences happened in the 90s, which I'm quite glad of because there were no cameras. It's not like every day nowadays that you have some random filming everything that they see. So, but it brings back like a childhood that a part of my childhood that I enjoyed, and music has always been that for me. I love music. It's a really big thing for me. I have a 30 Seconds to Mars tattoo on my leg, and they are the next band that I was going to say that 30 Seconds to Mars is a big influence in my life. I haven't listened to a lot of them recently. I've kind of been having a little bit of a break, but not intentionally, just other things have come up first, like when I work out and housework, I might listen to a couple of their songs, but majority it's 90s rock, which, yeah, but they'll always have a special place in my heart. I love Jared Leto, although Heath Ledger's Joker was better. I'm sorry, Jared. And speaking of YouTube and YouTube content that I do, some of the YouTube people that I like to follow. Recently I stumbled across Sierra Schultze. She's a mid to plus size woman, who is very funny. I do enjoy her a lot. She does a lot of clothes try-ons, comparing sizes, that kind of thing. I do like it, and I like clothes, so although I don't spend a lot of time on my clothes, normally I'm in yoga pants or jeans and a band t-shirt, I do like clothes. I like watching them on people, like watching people try on clothes that may or may not look nice on them. Another one that I follow is Jazzy Bumble. She's from, Sierra Schultze is from the States. Jazzy Bumble is from England, and she's one of those girls that I probably wouldn't have the guts to talk to in real life, but she's so funny. She's a little bit ditzy, I think would be the correct word, but not in a bad way, like in a fun way. I think she's very funny. I think some of her content is the faces that she makes, especially when she's confused, is very, very funny. And she's able to poke fun at herself, which I think is quite, as an Aussie, it's quite charming for someone to be able to poke fun at themselves. Be self-deprecating to a good extent, not to a morbid and weird, just, yeah, okay. A tried and true favourite of mine is Christine from Symphony Nailogical. I love her. I've loved her for a very, very long time. She's Canadian. She started out doing nails, but it's kind of gone a bit pear-shaped. Not in a bad way. But like now she'll make things out of cat fur and and that kind of thing, which is quite funny. And I love just especially her and Ben, her partner, when they get serious and actually start talking seriously about an issue that's affecting us. That does communicate well with me. And also another one that I've followed for a very long time is Bunny at Graveyard Girl. She's American, she's from Texas, and she's just random, and I love that about her. She's got 2 channels. She's got Graveyard Girl and she's got Banana Peppers, and I'm subscribed to both of them, but I love her. She's very funny. She's very random and she's very odd. I like her oddness, and she's not afraid to love what she loves, and I admire that about her. And she lets her, as I say, what I like to do in my personal life, not so much on YouTube because I just don't have the guts yet, is to let my freak flag fly. And she lets her freak flag fly. And I'm not saying that right, and I don't care, but you get my gist, okay? Freak flag fly. She lets it go. And I'm I admire that a lot about her. And another one along that lines is also Threadbanger. They have not been that active this year with very good reason. But Corinne and Rob I've followed for a while, followed for a long time. And they're friends with Christine and Ben from Symphony Nailogical, but the reason why they haven't been making content recently is because Rob actually died and came back to life a few months ago, and so he's still recovering. So they do release a video now and then, like Corinne just released one on her personal channel, but I think they're having a well-earned deserved rest at the moment. They still do put content out, but not as much as they used to. So quickly on to TV. I love Mythbusters, especially since Grant Imahara died. I have been finding comfort in watching his work. I met Grant a few years ago, and he was such a lovely man. Short, but lovely. And knowing that the nerd world has lost such a talent, especially when it comes to Star Wars, was devastating. I found it very difficult. And then also it was followed a couple of weeks later, I think it was, by Chadwick Boseman's death. So the nerd world got hit hard that month. But on the other hand, I have a tattoo that says WWMD. Now originally it was supposed to say what would MacGyver do, but my son actually says it's what would Mythbusters do. And either or, they've both got the same principles: using tools for which they were never intended, using your brains to get you out of there. And something that I find even more heartbreaking is that it was Grant's brain that let him down and what killed him. So, but my thoughts and prayers go out to, well, I don't pray, but my thoughts and vibes go out to his family and friends and his longtime partner, that I hope that this very difficult time, treats them as well as it can. And onto that, I've found Floor is Lava on Netflix, and it's just so silly, but I love it, and like, it's a big grown-up game of Floor is Lava. It's great. Thoroughly suggest you go watch it. Something else I've recently watched, not really that into just yet. I find it interesting, but I haven't had a chance to just sit and watch it. I'm always doing something else while I'm watching it, which is probably the issue I'm having with it, is home edit. I enjoy those kind of shows. This is a show on Netflix, Home Edit. I've heard a lot about it from other mummy vloggers or organisation vloggers and stuff like that on YouTube, and I decided to watch it the other night, and I'm going to keep watching it, don't get me wrong, but I think maybe I need to sit down and watch it as it is, not while I'm working on other things. Forensic Files is always one for me, especially when I'm studying for the term. I started back at the end of August, and so yes, Forensic Files is now a standard for me to watch at the moment. And lately I've also been watching snippets of the Graham Norton show on Facebook. I haven't been watching full episodes because I just don't have time, but when I've got like 5-10 minutes when I'm on the toilet or something like that, I'll flick it on and watch it on Facebook. So that's been interesting. I've been having a lot of fun watching that recently. And movies, really, tried and trues, Lord of the Rings, the MCU, Star Wars, Harry Potter, anything like that. I am fully into. But coming up to the spooky season, or well, we're in the spooky season now, on the 30th of October, I always watch that night, on Devil's Night, I always watch The Crow. And there is a reason for that. My mother and I used to love The Crow, watching The Crow together. Every time we saw it on TV, because back then you didn't have streaming services or anything, I'd jump on the couch and she'd be in her seat and we'd watch it together. And it's one of those fond memories I have. And so I watch that every Halloween, the night before Halloween, I watch it. And I lost my mum 17 years ago now. So having those good thoughts about her really helped me when I'm having a tough time. So I hope that lets you know a bit more about Geeky Fibre Mum and me, Sil. Oh, by the way, my full name is Sylvia, but I prefer Sil. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's the first time I've actually sat down and had like a full-on, this is what I do, this is what I like kind of chat. If you guys like me to do this more, that'd be, I don't mind, I'll do it. Maybe a monthly thing or a bi-monthly thing or something. Twice, every second month kind of thing. I don't know. Talk to me down below. I try to answer comments as soon as I can. I am on Australian time, so it might take a little bit longer if you're from like a different time zone or whatever, but please just talk to me. If you have any comments, suggestions, just want to chat, I'm there. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Give me a big thumbs up and a like. It really helps me out as letting YouTube know that I'm here, which I don't think they do at the moment. And yeah, I had quite a fun time thinking about just like a couple of things to talk to you about tonight. So this will be up. This is video 3 of Vlogoween. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. That's it, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, subscribe, and please continue to join us on our travels. Bye.